Hi everyone. We are before Shabbat Parashat beahlotcha, the portion of beahlotcha that speaks about the candles that Aaron the priest lit, and not just that he was lighting them, he was waiting and helping the candles to elevate and to come up. Because when you light a candle at the beginning, the candle goes down a little bit, and then the light goes up again. And he was waiting that the candles would light the right way. The spiritual meaning of the candles lightning in the Zohar is telling us that it is connected to the tree of life, the light of the sun, which means the candelabra in the tabernacle and in the temple was connecting the light of the tree of life into this reality. So here we have a connection to the tree of life with lightening of the candles that is spoken about in this parasha. After that, they are continuing to count the Levites. We spoke about the concept of counting last week parasha, and then it comes to the concept of Passover. That it's telling us that in Passover the people needed, some people could not bring the sacrifice of Passover on time. And because they couldn't bring the sacrifice on time, then some people came to Moses and said to him, we couldn't bring the sacrifice because we were impure. We were dealing with someone that needed to take care of, that died, and we needed to take care of them. We were impure. As being impure, we cannot bring the sacrifice now. So what about us? We want the energy of Passover as well. You know, if someone is missing Rosh Hashanah, he's not saying, give me a chance of a second Rosh Hashanah, like the first Rosh Hashanah. If someone is missing the holiday of Shavuot, he's not asking, give me another Shavuot. If someone is missing Sukkot, they were not asking, give me another Sukkot. But here with Passover, the people were asking, give me another opportunity to connect to the energy of Passover. Because Passover means to go out from bondage into freedom. This is the essential power of a human being able to transform his consciousness from a slave consciousness into a godly consciousness, from being in bondage going out into freedom. And as in that time we needed that energy to spring out from Egypt into freedom, the same over here in our life, each one of us need this energy again and again and again to spring out from personal bondage into freedom. So the people in the desert, they were saying that it's so essential that we would have it, because this is the most important, because if a person doesn't have freedom, he cannot do any spiritual work, he cannot develop himself, he cannot earn the light. Being a slave, you dismissed from all the mitzvot, you cannot reveal the light. This is why. Because that it's so essential of a concept and a connection to the light of God, that Moses was asking God what to do, and God was telling Moses, give them a second chance, a second Passover on the month of Taurus. Which means if the first Passover is on the 14th of Eris, the 14th of Nisan, then on the 14th of Iyar, we would have the second Passover. It's something unique, doesn't happen with other holidays. The fact that they were able to bring the sacrifice of Passover on the 14th of Iyar, which is a month later. Very powerful consciousness, which means we need to understand from this, if they respected freedom so much and the energy to spring out from bondage into freedom, this is why it's so essential that we would not take away the freedom of another human being. Because when we take away the freedom of another human being, we take from him everything. The real reason of why a person is in this world. Which means if a person is into slavery, it's like this is a real suffering. So when we are in slavery of our own bad attributes, this is the real suffering. Because the real meaning of being in this world is to be a free human being. And a free human being is a human being that can make choices. And many times there are systems in this world that do not give people the opportunity to choose and to decide. Which means if we take the ability of other people to choose and to decide, then we do something wrong. Then it's disturbed the process of correction. If we take it, it's too strong for people. If you take from them that freedom of choice. This is why people need to have the freedom of choice. And this is maybe why we don't have prophets today in this world the way that we used to have it in the time of the prophets. Because a prophet was direct line to God, which means they got the message, the proper message. They gave it to the people. Now, when you get the message like that, you don't have a choice. This is it and this is it. And maybe this was the reason why the people of Israel were asking, give us a king. Because the king will be the intermediate between the prophets to the people, and like that the people again will have a freedom of choice. Because how can you correct yourself if you don't have a freedom of choice? This is why if there is a system that takes away the freedom of choice of individuals, cannot develop the best that it should. Because you need to give a certain level of freedom of choice to every person according to their level in the system. Because if you don't give the freedom of choice, you cannot develop. And this is one of the hardest things in certain systems in this world that there are. We can see it in Israel in different offices, like government offices, etc. If you don't give the people freedom of choice, then the system, the bureaucracy in the system is very heavy. And it's not growing the way that it should be. It's not developing, and it's not taking care of things the way that it should be. It's a problem. This is why Passover is so essential, and the energy of Passover. This is why every Friday night with the Kiddush we are saying the Kiddush is a memory to the fact that we went out of Egypt. Which means we are linking ourselves to that energy of freedom, but in the Kiddush. This is why in every holiday we should remember that we came out of Egypt. Remembering means to connect again with that energy. So this is very powerful energy that exists here. Now, in the continuation, we have here something very powerful, unique in the Torah, that doesn't appear in nowhere, in no other parasha of the Torah. We have the letter Nun, which is reversed to as it should be. If the letter Nun should be written that way, it's reversed, the opposite way. Backwards, over here. And we have two letter Nuns that are written backwards, that each Nun is individual to itself, not as a word, by itself. Which means each one of them is a special channel by itself. There are a few things to understand over here. The two Nuns are appearing right before the verse, Vayi binso Aaron, the verse that we are singing when we are opening the ark before reading the Torah. And then it appears exactly after the verse that with which we are closing the ark, when we are returning the Torah back to the ark. So therefore we have one before opening the ark and one like after closing it. So these two letter Nuns are like two doorways, one opening and one closing. It's like the door that we open and we close. And here with this Nun that is reversed, really we are opening and closing the connection, and this is a very, very powerful connection. The letter Nun by itself represents, according to the numerical value, the number 50, which is the 50 gates of understanding, which is the 50 gates through which the channels of the light are sending the light to descend into this reality. This is a very powerful connection to that level where the warehouse of energy of this world is existing, the Bina consciousness, understanding. So that letter Nun is opening a connection to it. This is truly what's happening when we open the Ark on Shabbat. When we open the Ark, we are opening a channel to that level of Bina consciousness, understanding, from which all the blessings are coming into our reality. Life, health, sustenance, children, and so on. So therefore, here we have a special opportunity to connect to that type of energy that also, by the way, removes away, when the light is being revealed in such a powerful way, the light removes darkness. So the same over here, when this type of light is being revealed with the reading of the Torah, it removes negative energy from our life, and this is what we could meditate, to remove negative energy from our life. So this is an important point on this parasha. Another point in this parasha about appreciating and complaining, and with this we'll complete. Here, the people of some of the people of Israel, some of the people of the mixed multitude, complained about the manna in the desert. What they said: we are tired from this spoiled bread, lechem klokel. This is bad bread. They got the manna that cured them from any sickness that they had in Egypt. When they came to the desert and started to eat the manna, all the people were cured from any type of sickness, totally healthy. Energy of life they got from it, from the manna. And now complaining about the manna. Because of not appreciating the manna, those people that complained died, but it's also started a cycle of reincarnation in which the correction of not appreciating the bread continues into other lifetimes. Till our time, still there is a connection because of that not appreciating process. So this is a big lesson for us, that we need to learn to appreciate everything that we have in our life, even things that it seems to be simple, etc. It's not special. In the desert they got the manna and they got used to it and they said it's not special. We are tired from that bread. So we need to understand that everything that we have in this world we need to appreciate, because there is the blessing of light of God in everything that we have. Because without the light of God, nothing would exist. We won't exist, and nothing around us will exist. We are so used to it that everything is existing that we think that it's existing by nature, by itself, without recognizing that every second the light of God is charging it with energy. And it's just a blessing that we have what we have, that we have our life, that the blessing that we can see, that we can hear, that we can walk, the blessing that there is food to the table. This is a blessing, the blessing that someone can have children. Not everyone have children. The blessing of having health. It's not that obvious. So we need to appreciate it no matter what we have. We have more, we have less, we need to appreciate. The moment we didn't appreciate the bread, there was a problem. It caused a problem. So another lesson from this parasha is always to appreciate. And if we will appreciate, this will channel the blessing to be bigger and bigger in our life. So God willing that we will be that we will be able from our heart to appreciate the blessings that we have in our life. And by appreciating the blessings that we have, things will be even better and better and better. So God willing, that this Shabbat we will all be able to connect into that channel of light. Shabbat Shalom.